Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and we've got a Fog of War puzzle today. It's called Caged Snakey and it's by Astral Sky. I've had a quick read through the rules before I turned on the webcam. It is a mad rule set. There is a snake hidden in the grid somehow, made out of cages, these cages have strange rules. I found it on Logic Masters Germany as well. It's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, but a whopping great rating. I think it's 94% approval rating, which is very high for a Fog of War puzzle. Fog of War puzzles seem to attract undue down rating. I think from people who don't understand that you're meant to solve them logically, and so they guess. So say we went to that cell and we wrote in all the digits 1 to 9. Eventually we'd hit on the right one and the fog would clear from these cells. That's not how you're meant to solve these. You're meant to deduce logical things that will allow us to slowly reveal the fog as we manage to solve our way through the puzzle. So I'm looking forward very much to solving this. Astral Sky has definitely been on the channel at least twice before, I want to say, and I may be getting that number wrong. But this is going to be our task for today's video. After I have announced a few things, I'll start by mentioning that we are going to be streaming at 10 o'clock tonight UK time. We'd love to have your company. We're going to be doing more of this. Dungeons and... oh, is that the right place? Well, let me move it over slightly. Hopefully that's visible. Dungeons and Diagrams, which is part of a game called Last Call BBS or something. We really enjoyed it last time. Love to have your company if you're free. Next, we'll move over to Patreon, where we have our James Bond Sudoku hunt, which is live now. Lots of puzzles by Bond villains. And the feedback's been great. Perhaps slightly easier, actually, than some recent hunts. So if you're... Don't be intimidated. You'll be able to solve it. And if you do get stuck, remember also there are places where you can find some hints, especially on the fan over on the Discord server, the CTC Discord server. There is a special channel for patrons where lots of ideas are shared over there. So check that out if you do get stuck. Also, I do hope I might be able to play some more Islands of Insight. And if I do that, I will put that video over on Patreon too. I was really touched, actually. I was just looking at the comments before I turned on the video. On the last video I did of Islands of Insight, and I wasn't expecting many people to have watched it, but loads and loads of you have watched it, and the comments seem to suggest there is appetite for more of that. So I'll definitely try and do that, hopefully later today. Other news. I'm going to give a shout out to Elle over there in Canada, who is an Instagram nail art artist. I think at Spargles is it the handle, or I don't know what you call an Instagram name. But Elle has been inspired by Sudoku art recently to create some nail art in the theme of... So let me just show you. This was... oh, what on earth is going on there? That doesn't look right. It doesn't look like a Sudoku. It looks like the dashed grid things. There we go. That's very strange. Anyway, so this grid here is Florian Wortmann's Ocean Spray puzzle that I did on the channel a few weeks ago, and this is Elle's nail art of the same puzzle. Look, I love this. It's a whole new thing. I mean, I can't imagine there'll be anything more popular in the world of nails than Sudoku themed stuff. So, Elle, I think you're onto a winner there, and thank you for sharing the pictures. Also, a shout out to Mark, actually, who wrote us a very kind email. I know he's had to deal with seeing his family through a lot of illness over the last few years, and thank you for taking the time to write to us. And to tell us we've made any difference at all. It really does mean a lot, Mark. Thank you. And then I've got some birthdays to do. So I'll start with Blake over there in Baltimore. Now, Blake, you have things to answer to, my friend. I do remember that you got a PhD in, was it welding engineering or something last year? But you sent me a picture of your cake, and it is I mean, this is absolutely... Let me try and make sure you can all see it. Look, this is some sort of ice cream pie made of Oreos and coffee, and it looks absolutely delicious. I can't believe you sent me this when I won't be able to taste it. Look at this. I do wholeheartedly approve of that, but I almost don't want to see pictures of it. Blake, have a very good birthday today. Next we'll turn to Heather, who I think has just turned 38 from the email. And Heather is entering her 15th year of playing roller derby as Wax Poetic. Now, I wrote that sentence down, and I have to confess, I don't understand what it means at all. I don't know what roller derby is. Is roller derby roller skating? I don't know. I've got no clue. Someone will explain it to me. Anyway, Heather, many happy returns. Next to Luna, who's turned 16 today. Many happy returns, Luna. Thank you for not sending me a picture of a delicious cake. I know you've been watching a lot recently, and I hope you have a great birthday today. And then finally, over there in Ontario, Canada, it is Ryan's birthday. And Ryan, I know this because your cousin Mitchell wrote to us and said you'd appreciate a shout out. And I know Ryan's been watching for years and recently got Mitchell into the channel. So thank you for spreading the word about Variant Sudoku. Ryan, we really appreciate it. Many happy returns. Have an enormous slice of chocolate cake. Now, let's get to some solving. Let's have a look at Caged Snakey and see what Astral Sky has concocted. These are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits may repeat within a cage. Okay, so we could have deduced that for ourselves because this cage appears to have a total of 52. And a secret I share with only my very favourite people is that all the Sudoku digits added together, the digits 1 to 9 once each, add to 45. So to get to 52, we're going to have to be repeating a digit or two in this 52 cage. So digits may repeat within a cage and sum to the total in the cage's top left corner. So this cage adds to 16, that cage adds to 16. Sums to the total in the cage's top left corner if given. So there might be some cages under the fog that don't have their totals given. All cages must be of different sizes. So say this was a cage of size 3. That couldn't also be a cage of size 3, is how I read that. 2 cages that neighbour one another, i.e. share an edge, must not share a common digit. So if this cage goes down there and does that, then this cage couldn't have a 9 in it. I suppose the corollary must be true. That cage couldn't have a 1 in it. So that's a very strange rule. All the cages in the puzzle combined form a 1-cell wide snake. The snake doesn't branch and doesn't touch itself orthogonally, but may touch itself diagonally. So in the grid, it's the it's the cages that make up the snake. And we could have a pattern like that, because this snake I've just drawn, it does touch itself, but it only touches itself diagonally. What couldn't happen is that the snake sort of, let me try and show you, it couldn't go round here, go to here, and then go up again, because then the snake would have touched itself here orthogonally. Orthogonally means along an edge, and that's apparently very naughty in this puzzle, and we mustn't do it. The start and end of the snake must be found by the solver. The grid is partly covered with fog, and placing correct digits will clear the fog from the surrounding cells. Guessing is not required. So they are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So I'm just going to reread the rules again. So okay, so the snake is made up of the cages. So I was looking actually at this cell, row 9, column 9. Clearly this cage is going up to this cell, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's true. So what I'm seeing there is that that's going up to there. Now, this cage, well, the cage that's come out of the bottom corner can't do that, I don't think. Because if it did, given that this is also in a cage, the snake that we're trying to build here would have branched. So I think we're being told that the snake does this. But we don't know whether this is an end of the snake, do we? If this is an end of the snake just ends. There's a knowledge bomb for you. If not, then the snake must turn. So maybe we just, maybe let's just extend all the cages that we can see. Goodness me, I don't know what to do. Hang on, let me just go back to the rules again. If in doubt, revisit the rules, especially if they're complicated. All the cages must be of different sizes. All the cages must be of different sizes. Ah, okay. But that cage is a size 2 cage. So nothing else in the grid can... Oh, okay, nothing else can be a size 2 cage. That's actually not very... In fact, we could have... I was thinking, could this have been a size 2 cage? But no, it couldn't. Because to be a size 2 cage, that would have had to be a 9-7 pair. Because although we can repeat digits in a cage, you can't repeat digits in a box of the Sudoku, so we couldn't make that 8-8. And it couldn't be 9-7, so we already knew actually that wasn't a 2-cell cage. So it must be this cage, is it? 52. This is an enormous cage. Oh, no. Yes, right. Okay, here is a deduction. I've got one deduction. I don't think... Actually, I'm now not sure whether this is true, what I'm about to say. Let me just think about this again. Yeah, I think it's true. If this was not an end of the snake, it couldn't possibly work. I don't think. So if this was a corner of the snake, the problem is that the snake can't hit itself then, so it can't turn down here because it would connect orthogonally with itself. So this, we could go there and there, but that's as much. Then we've bumped into other cages and we can't branch the snake. So the 52 snake would only be in a region. It would be in that would be its cage, and these can't possibly add to 52 because they all have to be different digits, and there would only be 5 different digits. The maximum they could add up to would be 35 if they were 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So this isn't right. That is not right. So this is... That's sort of peculiar, isn't it? Because what that means is that this is the end of the snake, and the snake goes there, so the snake never visits this square. This is out of bounds for the snake. Well, okay, but the snake can't go there now, because again the snake, then otherwise it's going to branch, so the snake must go there. I'm worried I've misunderstood something about this. So now the snake can't ever go here, because to do that the snake would have branched. Yeah, I do sort of see. So the snake, by dint of the snake this 9 not being a corner of the snake, it does afford the snake the opportunity to sort of wander its way out of box 1, which it wouldn't have had that opportunity had this been a corner. So although at first blush it looks like the snake's picking up more cells by being a corner, because it can't escape, because it's sort of trapped in by these 16 cages. It's really quite clever, actually. It really is quite clever. All right, here's another deduction then. Here is another deduction. Actually, wait a second. I'm just going to think again about this. Okay, so this square is now not on the snake, is it? Probably. The only way I could see that cell being on the snake is if it's the other end of the snake to this. Actually, we'll circle this. We know this is an end of the snake. Actually, we'll circle it in a different colour so we know it has a different property. That's definitely a snake end. Yeah. Okay. This snake, this snake here, this small section of snake has to grow massively bigger. So it can't possibly bump into either of these things anytime soon. So we can't do something like this. Oh, I've changed colour, sorry. We can't do anything like that because again, this snake, this 52 cage is only going to have 5 cells in it for that to be true. I'm sort of, in my brain, I'll tell you what my brain is thinking, and you could tell me why my brain is wrong. I am struggling to believe that there isn't another snake end, either somewhere close to this point or somewhere close to this point. And I'll show you why. I think this snake is going to get trapped too quickly. So imagine that. Well, imagine this does this. I mean, that's clearly wrong, isn't it? So we can't do that. But even if this 16 never gets to this square and turns, and this turns, you can't. I don't think we can get this out now. It can't go there because it will connect to this and it's only of length 4. It can't go here because it will connect to that and only be of length 4. No, actually there it would be of length 5. Oh, hang on. No, I see. I'm misspeaking. It would be of length 5. Okay, but that's still not enough. Yeah, because if it did, whichever way it now goes, if it goes down or across, it has to join up. And its maximum size then is all of those squares, which could be 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 9, which is 39. It's not 52. It's nowhere near big enough. So I think something up here we know that's a snake piece. We know that's a snake piece. So something up here is these can't be 2 corners. I mean, maybe that's the conclusion we can draw. We can't draw 2 corners like this. Because if we do, this cannot get out. It cannot be big enough to be 52 large. Right, and okay, so that is the deduction. So that means that either this square or this square is a corner. It's not a corner, it's a snake end. It's actually the end of the snake if we call this the beginning of the snake. Good grief. Okay, so therefore what? What are we therefore saying? So we're saying that Can that be the end of the snake, though? That's just the thought I'm having there. If that was a snake end, we couldn't go here. We'd have to go down. We can't. We have to have enough. Yeah. Oh no, that doesn't work at all. No, that doesn't work at all. Okay, so this square is out of bounds. So let me show you that again. Can this square be a snake cell? Sorry, my window's rattling a bit. Well, we'd have to come in here. We know we can't do that, or this 52 region is of length 5. It's not big enough. So this would have to be the end of the snake. So we have to move down here. This is not the end of the snake then, and now this is only of length 5 as well. So we have made one more deduction, which is that this is out of bounds for the snake. Okay, and that's sort of useful, because now we can say for sure that either we get a corner here or a corner here, but only one of those corners must exist in the puzzle. Now, so if that's a corner, what does that mean? Then this is an end. We can't take that square. Ooh, okay. Oh, but that, okay, this is really interesting. Okay. Wow, right. Here is another deduction then. Yeah, okay. So now the question. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just go back to that again. We'd have to go there. This is an end. We can't go here. We have to go here. This is a real corner. So we have to go there. We have to go there. I think all of those things are directly forced. And therefore we have to close this up. Now, is that logic? This is the question I'm trying to get clear in my head. Is that logic symmetrical? And the answer is that it might be, but I'm not certain. I think it is symmetrical. Is there any other way that we could draw that? I don't think so. So I think what we're being told here is, so what I'm trying to see is whether there's a difference between whether this is the corner of the snake or whether this is the corner of the snake. Because if this is the corner and that's the snake end, we must go there. We have to turn down because we mustn't hit this. And this has to extend because otherwise the snake hits itself. So again, we get exactly that pattern. So we sort of get a wide U shape in the grid. Either in box 1 or, well, it's always in box 1, but it sort of either connects like this or it connects like that to the 16. And the interesting thing is, let me show you one of the things I've seen here, is that the length of this is very interesting because it has to have, no jokes about meeting me at parties, thank you, because the length of this is 5 cells in box 1, however we draw it. It was either 5 doing this or it was 5 doing that. So it's either a Z pentomino or a W pentomino in box 1, but it's taking 5 cells. So we know, we've already thought about that. The maximum number of digits we could have in this box, therefore, is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the snake. Now 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 add up to 35, which means we still need 17's worth of digits to complete the snake. But we're only going to get 2 more cells because the way that the corners work, we're always going to join up within 2 to the thing that's the corner, because we've been forced down away from the other end of the snake. Whichever way round this works, this is true. And that means that this 52 cage doesn't actually go a-wandering down into the bottom of the grid, which is initially, I thought this was going to be an enormous cage. It doesn't at all. It's stuck. It's either doing that, or it's doing that. It's doing one of those 2 patterns, definitely. Now, I don't know which of those 2 patterns it's doing. I don't think I do, anyway. But you can see if it's doing that, this is an 8-9 pair. And if it's doing this, as it's sketched out at the moment, this is an 8-9 pair. So there's either an 8-9 pair here or here in the correct solution. Okay. So maybe we've got to think about... I don't know whether I'm meant to just assume one of these and see and take it forward, or whether I'm supposed to be able to immediately see how this breaks. I mean, if that's an 8-9 pair, what are we saying? This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, why is that a problem? I don't know. I don't know why that's a problem. I don't even really know why I would think that was a... Is it something to do with this cage then? Yes, okay. So I suppose because we now know that whatever the orientation is of the snake in the top left, it has the digits 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 on it. And there was some rule that said where 2 cages neighbour one another, they can't have a common digit. Well, okay, so if this was correct, this 16 cage... Oh, that's weird. It would have to be made up of not the digits 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, so it could only be made up of 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s. That feels odd. So it would have to be quite a long snake, actually. Because, I mean, well, even if it wibbled about in box 4 and took 1, 2, 3 and 4, that would only get to 10 mavericks just flying over. So we'd still need at least 2 more digits from there, because we're only allowed to choose from 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I feel that this snake, that this cage, or this cage, because it's going to be the same logic, if this is the other way round, has to be, I'm going to say, at least 6 cells large. And how big's this one? This one's 7 cells large. Okay, so that would work. We wouldn't be repeating the size of the cage. Oh, this is hard. This is hard to visualize because I can't. I'm going to just take it back and see whether I can see something wrong with it the other way round. So if that's the corner and that's an end, what are we saying then? We're saying we can't come in there because this is too small. This is a corner and it's nowhere near an end, so we have to do that. So we have to drop down here. We can't bump into this, we have to do that. And we get this bucket shape. Oh, I see. Ah, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. That is not easy. My goodness me. Right. This is broken. See if you can see why. Pause the video if you want to. Agad Mator style. For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations. Right, the point is that this can't exist, because what we're saying here is that this cage, and it would be exactly that cage, contains the digits 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So this cage, which is the 16 cage that joins on, is containing the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4. But because this is forced to take these squares, these would have to be 1, 2, 3 and 4. But in this box, these squares have got to be 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's 5 digits in a row that can only be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because these digits have to be 5, 6, 7 and 8. Because they've all got to be different but sufficiently large that this can be an 8-9 pair and get us up to our 52. That is, isn't that unbelievable? So now we can... Right, well, no, this is good. This is good. Because I was worried that I was going to have to take, take 2 strands of snake sort of creeping off as possibilities and try and keep those in my head at the same time. But I don't have to do that now. I do know that well, what do I do? I know this can't be a corner. So this is an end of the snake. So that is an end of the snake. That goes that way. This is a corner of the snake. The snake can never visit this square anymore. This can't close because it wouldn't be long enough. So it must go there, there. This is a corner. Mustn't touch itself, so it never goes down here. So it goes there. Now it's touched this one. So that forces this. That forces this. But this doesn't break, because we only have one cell here that has to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. In these squares are 1, 2, 3 and 4 in box 1. These, which that's not 1, these squares are from 2, 3 and 4. We have a 1, 2... Oh wow, okay, I was about to think I'd broken it again, but I haven't, have I? Because it is true to say this 16 cage, which needs to keep growing, it hasn't reached size 16 yet, can only be made up of 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we can't go to this square anymore, because that would break Sudoku. So this must turn, and now it must leave the box, because otherwise we've got too many 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s in box 4. So we have to go down. And now we mustn't the snake mustn't touch itself, so we can't take that square. Also, that would have to be a 1, 2, 3 or 4, because we're still at this juncture haven't reached the point where we've got to 16. We've got to 10 plus this digit. Oh, okay. We can keep going, because in this column I've now got 1, 2, 3 and 4, so we can't go to that square. So this has to turn here. And here is a final deduction, which is that this cage is now 6 cells large. Now, this cage is 7 cells large. In fact, we haven't put it in, but let's do that. That is a cage. This is a cage. Now, if this grew any bigger, it would be the same size as its friend here, which means that if this 16 cage is not exactly 6 cells large, it must be at least 8 cells large. And it can't be 8 cells large. This is complicated, actually. It really is complicated, because that's 10. So the other 4 cells, however we drew them in, would have to add up to only 6, which means these would have to be a 1-2 pair. And then I don't know where you'd put the next cell, because if it was there, that would be at least a 3 by Sudoku, and if it was there, that would be at least a 3 by Sudoku. So you can't build it. There's no way to do it. So this is the extent of the cage, which means these 2 squares add up to 6, which means those squares are a 2-4 pair. Let's put the options in for these. These are 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 or 9. I might draw some more X's in, look. Because we can never orthogonally, that's not an edge, so we can't take that square, we can't take that square. We can never get down here now because we've found the 2 ends of the snake. So this is never on the snake, this is never on the snake. Sorry, I realise I've stopped talking. These squares here are 5, 6 and 7 by Sudoku. There's a 5, 6, 7, 8 triple in column 3 now, the 8 of which is in this domino. So these are not 8 anymore. Oh, well, okay. If that's a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple, what's that digit? It's not 8, is it? That's 9. Is that our first digit? And it was right. And it's revealed. Well, no, I suppose it's confirmed, or something we'd already deduced about the shape of this snake up here. That's an 8 now. Oh, bobbins. Okay, these... Oh, that's not 7 by Sudoku. So I need 5, 6 and 8 in this column, in those 3 squares. And what on earth do we do now? Maybe this column, where we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 5, 6, 7, 9. So these squares are from 5, 6 and 9. So that is a 5, 6, 8, 9 quadruple. This must be a 1. Ah, there we go. So that's a 1, 3 pair by Sudoku, which means that square's not 1 or 3, but there's a 3 in the bottom row. Oh, this is... Right, okay, this is better. That's a 5. There's no reason I can't write a 5 in there, is there? Oh, and this puzzle's got me questioning my own sanity now. Yeah, that's got to be a 5. It is a 5. Okay. So this is not a 5 by Sudoku. The snake must go. The snake goes into all the cages. That's the point of the snake. So the snake's doing this. The snake keeps going. Ooh, now, do we know... You see, normally I would... We are allowed to repeat digits in these cages. So is it actually true to say that this cage can't... I mean, this cage can't go there or there, because that would require 4 different digits from these 3 squares. So these 3 squares are whatever they are. But if we take that one as part of this 9 cage, that would be 4 different digits, and the triangular number for 4 is 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That's more than 9, so that won't work. The same will be true here if this 9 cage goes there. But what about if it goes there? And then this digit is repeated in here. So this would be a 1 or a 2 and would repeat in there. Is that possible? Oh, no, it's not. Right. Okay. The reason that's not possible is quite beautiful. It's because that is a 5, isn't it? And that means I'm not allowed to put a 5 in this cage, because it's touching a cage with a 5 in it. So that means, what are these digits? Well, one of them can be a 1, that's fine. But I can only use... I can't use 2 of the digits 2, 3 and 4. Because if I use 2 of the digits, there'll be a repeated digit here. So I can have 1 of those digits only. And once I've had 1 of those digits, the next lowest digit I'm allowed to have is 6. So this must be 1... Yeah, okay, so we're never going here, because these must be 1, 2 and 6. That's the lowest they can possibly be. These are not 2. This is a 3, 4 pair. That's a 2. That was right, so that's a good deduction. That's not 6 anymore. This is 1, 2, 6. The thingy can't go there, or there, or there, or there, or there now, or there, or there. So there's a whole branch of the puzzle now that's sort of off limits. I'm almost tempted to colour it rather than have these great big X's. Don't like these X's. They feel a bit a bit too OTT, don't they? Maybe I could colour. How could I do this? I could colour these squares something just to say no, out of bounds for the snake. So we could make them maybe blue, and then I could go over them and get rid of them all. And then I just think it just looks a bit cluttered to me. So blue will be our colour that says that's not a snake. That's not a snake colour. So that's going to be yellow now. These are going to be, I don't know, orange. My phone is buzzing like crazy. Okay, that's just Mark texting me about countdown of all things. Right. Okay, what does this mean? 3 is in one of those squares by Sudoku. 9 is not there by Sudoku. I mean, if forced to, I can do Sudoku. How many... Okay, here is a thought. How many cages have we had now? We've had a 1 cage, there's a 2 cage here, there's a 3 cage here, and there's a 7 cage and a 6 cage. So I've not found a 4 cage and a 5 cage and any other bigger cages than that. Okay, so that cage, that can have its own colour. And we, oh, hang on. We know that this is not an end, don't we? Because that's the end. Ah, right. So this, actually red's a bad colour. We'll make it, because I couldn't see the thingy. But this is not the end of the snake, so the snake has to turn. This is not the end of the snake, so the snake continues. Otherwise it touches itself. Too naughty for words. So there is some... Right. Okay, so now I can see that this snake end and this snake end have to meet up somehow. Because how could we not make them meet up? This would have to dodge. It couldn't take an orthogonal cell here. And you can see that to get this end out, therefore, it would have to hit itself over here and make a loop, not a snake. So this and this connect somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think there might be a 5-length snake. I don't know what the shape of the snake is. I think it could have a lot of different snakes shapes, but I think it certainly can't be a length 4 snake. It doesn't reach, and it can't turn here. Because the thing about a snake that can't touch itself is that if it does turn, it has to do a sort of has to do a U pentomino to turn, and therefore it can't sort of come in here and try to do U pentominos. It's going to touch itself. Can't do that. So I don't think this can be... Yeah, I don't quite know how this is closing, but it's closing with a length 5 slice from here. There is a cage that's of size 5 that starts with these two. So let's start to build that. We'll have to choose a colour. I'm running out of colour. Maybe... Oh, I don't know, actually. I'm going to have to reuse a colour, I think. So it starts here. Now, that cage that's going to connect this to this can't have these digits in it. So it's got to be made up of 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. Oh, I thought we were going to get digits then. 3, it can't 4, 5 or 8. These are only 4, 5 or 8 now, because they can't be 3 or 7 by Sudoku, and yet they can't be 1, 2, 6 or 9 by the funny rule. Right. So what does that mean? So this is going to join to that. This And that takes the length 5 snake off the table. So we've got a length 4 snake, which could be this one or this one. And if... Well, hang on, that can't be a length. No. We've already thought about this. This 16 cage can't be a length 8 snake. There is no way. There is no way, because its first 4 cells are going to see each other however they're drawn. So that's going to take us up to 10 by the time we reach position 4. And if we have another 4 cells after that, that could only have another... Well, we already looked at it down here. I mean, if we try and do it, it just cannot work. Because we have to go as low as we could for the first 2 digits. But then Sudoku will stop us putting... Well, basically, the next digits after we put 1, 2, 3 and 4 in would have to be a 1, 2 and then a 1, 2 pair. And you can't do it from a Sudoku perspective. So this is a length 4 slice a cage. This is a length 4 cage. So this is at least a size 8 cage. But it hasn't got a 9 in it. Oh, but it can repeat digits. Oh no, I thought I was onto something there. I was going to say it had to be a length 8 cage because it couldn't have a 9 in it. But actually no, it's not got that digit in it either, has it? So this cage, let's make this dark green again. This cage here, actually I don't want to make it dark green. I'm going to make it orange again, actually, because it's not going to bump into this, because this is bumping into this. So this cage it's got at least 8 cells in it. There's definitely some sort of restriction on this cage, you know, because, well, I wonder if you could conclude that this cage hit this cage. We know this is a size 4 cage. So this cage, which is at least 8 cells large, would only have available to it 5 different digits as max, because whatever the 4 digits were that were put in the 16 cage, they couldn't go in this cage. But there is another possibility, which is that this never touches the 16 cage, because although this is at least a size 8 cage, it might bump into another cage, which in turn would then have to be at least a size 9 cage. So, okay, so maybe we can rule out, if we can rule out, this is interesting, if you can rule out this cage not bumping into this, then then things would get very interesting. I might be able to prove there's a 9 in that 16 cage, is what my brain wants me to do. But to do that, I've got to convince myself that it's not possible for there to be effectively at least, let's say that's 8, and it joins on to a 9, which is a 9 cell cage, which is the least it could join up to, and then we know that's a 4 cell cage. So can you put 21 more cells of snake in this puzzle from this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. No, you can't get anywhere near it. There is no way. Could I have been more efficient than that? I don't think so. I'm studying that just to make sure. I think oh, actually, let me just try something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No. It's very difficult because these snakes have such wide turns on. This is gorgeous then. So now we know that this is at least size 8. And it does connect to this, which is exactly size 4. So we now know that the 4 digits that are in this cage, this 16 cage, are not allowed to go in this size 8 or higher cage. So this has got a maximum of 5 different that's it. That's so beautiful. Right, so now we know this cage has got a maximum of 5 different digits in it. Well, how could it go up column 9 then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I wondered what this was doing. That's why this is here. Because it's showing us it's showing us we can't just nip across. Having had our 5 digits we're allowed in this orange cage, we can't just nip across into this square and escape. So this cage, it must go through there, mustn't it? I think. And that's quite interesting. Because to get from here to here, it's going to have to use 5 digits. Because however I draw that, I can't get from there to there without using 5 digits. Is that logic sound? I think it's right. It feels right. There is no way, is there? If I'm only allowed 5 digits in this cage, I can never take that square. The only way this could have no cage furniture in it at all is if it's so, all of these cells are and that's not a snake we're building there, is it? That's most certainly not a snake. Yeah, that's fine then. That's fine. Right. So this has to come to get out. This cage here, we still don't know the size of it in terms of how large it is, how many cells it's got in it, but we do know it's got 5 different digits in it, maximum, and it now does have those 5 different digits in it because it has to occupy 5 cells of space in box 6 to get to here. And now this is ridiculous, by the way. Astral Sky, this is ridiculously clever. But now, imagine that there is no 9 in my 4-cell 16 cage. Well, then these 4 digits do not appear in the orange cage. But also 9 would not be in the orange cage either, because that cage there definitely touches this one. And now there are 5 digits that can't go in the orange cage, and it cannot traverse box 6 at all. So there is a 9 in a 16 cage which has 4 cells in it up here, and because you can't draw the first 4 cells of such a cage without in a way where these digits can repeat, they must be 1, 2, 4 and 9. So the 9 is going to have to be low somewhere. So these squares have to be 1, 2, 4. And now that square can't be in the cage at all, because it would be a 1, 2, 4 or 9. So that's 1, 2, 4 or 9. And this cage is doing this. So it either then goes here or here for its next point of call. Where is 3 in the top row? There. I was right. That's 4. That's 2. This is 1. And all of a sudden, that's 3. That's 4. That's 4. That's 2. These squares are now a 1, 4 pair. So this square is a 2 or a 9. Which might matter somehow. I mean, I'm going to actually pencil mark these squares if that's all right, because they've all got to be whopping great squares just by Sudoku on row 1. Okay. I'm desperately looking to see if I can do some Sudoku with this. I'm not sure I can. 8 and 9 are in those squares, I'm now noticing. So 8 and 9 are in these squares, and 9's obviously not in that one. Hey, okay, here's another thought. It's because I know now the composition of the 16 cage up here, and I know that that 16 cage touches the orange cage somehow. I now know the composition of the digits in the orange cage. The orange cage must be made up of the other digits, which are 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That's not 8 by Sudoku. That's not 3 by Sudoku. That's not 5 by Sudoku. And this square has to have something in common with the 16 cage, because otherwise it's going to be a 5th digit that I can't put in this cage. So this square is 1, 2 or 4, which is very deeply disturbingly annoying. It doesn't tell me anything. I'm not delighted with my choice of... I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that to green again, because it's starting to distract me from my orange cage, which I think is going to be the crucial cage. So the useful thing would be if that's a 4, because that would take 4 out of those cells. Where's 2 in the bottom row? It's got to be in one of those 2 squares by Sudoku of all things. So there's a 2 in one of these. 2, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9. So these squares are from 5, 7, 8 and 9 to complete row 6. So if this did that. Yeah, okay. So now, this is nice deduction actually. Now, this square, I'm going to claim is in the orange cage. And that's because imagine it wasn't. Let's imagine this wasn't in the cage. We've got to connect these up. We are only allowed to do it within 5 cells. So we could do it something like that. That would be fine. And we know that these orange squares are made up exactly of the digits 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Well, where are we putting 1, 2 and 4 in this box now? There's only 2 cells left for them, so that cannot be right, can it? So in fact, this square here must be orange, therefore, because that one can't be orange, because that's going to connect to the snake here, which is impossible because we know that's connecting to purple down there. So we now know that this is definitely not snake, which is our blue colour. So this must drop. Well, it drops, but it's not that colour, is it? It's purple, sorry. This is purple. And the purple colour... yeah, we do know the composition of the purple colour. We do know the possible digits that are in the purple colour. The possible digits are 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. So that square is 7 or 8. It can't be 3, 4 or 5 by Sudoku, so it's only 7 or 8. Okay, and we know that the snake drops here. And we know the snake goes there, so the snake must go up. So that square is definitely, what was it, 3, 5, 6, 7 or 8. And that doesn't seem to be able to be 8 by Sudoku. And then either this one or this one will be the next opportunity. 5, 6, 7 or 8. So these squares are from 1, those squares are from 1, 2 and 4, definitely. I've got a 1, 2, 4 triple in this column. Right, so where are 1 and 4 in this box? By Sudoku, they're there, which is a nice deduction. So where are 2 and 9 in this box? And by Sudoku, they are there. And therefore, it doesn't do... Oh, does it do anything? I'm not sure. Yeah, that does do something, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay, so where is the 4th digit now in this cornucopia? We're looking for 2 and 9. They can't go there anymore, so it's got to go there. Ah, now what on earth? So, okay, so that's 2 or 9. Apparently we don't know which. So these squares are from 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I'm going a bit too ham on the pencil marking. I'm sorry about that. It really... I don't like doing this. But this orange thing... Oh, the orange thing can't have 9 in it. That's not 9. Oh, I see. So that's a 9 by... Oh, that's this... Oh, it is good. Oh, this is great. That's great. Because that being a 9 has shown me the cage down here, look. You can see where it goes. We can see how purple closes itself. And purple, we know, is made up of the digits 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. And that one is not 4 or 5. 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, no. Okay. That's not 2, I suppose. That's not 3 either by Sudoku. Okay. So how do we do this then? 3 in this box is right over on the right hand side. So 3 is knocked out of that square, which becomes 6, 7 or 8. We can extend our snake a bit further. We can... Oh, I can't get that at the moment. That's a friend of mine. I really should take that call. I'll have to ring him back in a moment. Therefore, we can take this out from here, take this out from here. How do I make my phone go to voicemail? I don't know. Okay, this digit now is 2 or 9 is not a valid orange digit, is it? And we know that this orange is going to connect to this. Okay, we should give this a colour up here. We'll make that black. And we know orange has got to connect to black. And orange can't go through there, I don't think. Because 2 and 9 is not a valid colour. Yeah, 2 and 9 appear in this cell. So we've got to go here as our next port of call. So we have this sort of thing going on. So this square is 3, 5, 6, 7 or 8. It's not 8. But it could go through there now, couldn't it? Well, how else will it close, actually? Yeah, I mean, the snake is coming in this direction somehow. So, but in order to close with this, it's got to go there. That's the only way. 1, 2, 3, say 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's going to work. Right, okay, so it's something like that is how it closes. Well, it does. No, that's exactly how it closes. But what I don't know is... Oh, I do, because there's a cage I hadn't paid attention to. Oh, that's great. So I do know this is orange. I know this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these squares, this square is 1, 2, or 4. It's not 2. So 2. 2 in this box is here. Oh, come on. That's no longer a 2. That seems to have to be a 2 by Sudoku. That's just... it's revealing stuff that I already know, though. Oh, you rotten thing. Where... oh, no. Oh. Okay, where's 4 in this box? It's going to be in one of 2 places. We can then ask where's 4 in this column. It's got to be at the bottom somewhere, because it's obviously not there or in any of these because of the 1, 4 pair. So we've actually got the snake now, I think, which is so ludicrous. We've got the snake built, but what does that mean? I don't know. I'm not sure. And do I know if that's a 4, this would be 3, 5, 7, and 8. Oh, that's fine, I see. If that's a 1, what does that do anything? Makes that a 4, that a 1. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm missing a trick there, actually. Oh, I am. 6, 7, 8 triple in this row, so that is a 3. Okay. Does that do anything? That's not a 3. We do need a 3 in one of those, because these have all got to be different. Obviously, Sudoku, we can do Sudoku occasionally. Okay, and in this row, now we've not put in 1 and... no, where's 9 in this row? There is the answer. So that's got to be a 1. So that's a 4. That is a 1. I'm not clearing any fog when I'm doing this. Oh, okay, that's good. I think it must have been that the fog was already cleared. Now, okay, so this did become a 4, which means these can't have 4 because we'd have the same composition in 2 cages. So this is now, I think, a 7. That's lovely. I wanted to make that an 8 by doing that because I was like, oh, you can't repeat a digit in a cage, but you absolutely can in this puzzle. So that's not a valid deduction. Although, oh, I can now. I know it's not an 8, it's a 7 because I've got a 6, 8 pair and I can do Sudoku in row 7. So that's a 7. These are not 7. That's not 7. 5, 8. This is a 6. That's an 8. Okay, that's good. That's a 6. Let's take 6 out of those squares. Okay, so we can take 6 out of both of these. So this is a 5, 9 pair, apparently. Which means that's a 6. That's not a 6. There's a 5, 7 there, so that's a 6. That's not a 6. 6 has got to be in one of those 2 squares, which is not very helpful. 6 has got to be in one of those 2 squares, so that's not a 6. Oh, that's not a 6 is what I was trying to do there, and failing. That's not a 6. 5 can come out of these squares. I should have done that earlier. That's not 9. Oh, 9. Look, I can do some 9 jiggery pokery at the top of the grid, and I cleared some fog for that. So that's not 2. That's definitely not 9. That's definitely not 9. So I get the 9 in row 5 of the grid. Clears a little bit more fog as well. And that's going to mean what exactly? I don't know. But I am enjoying this mightily. It is a brilliant puzzle, isn't it? It is just brilliant. These... oh, look, I'm going to do it. 3, 5, 7, and 8. Now, can I do anything with that ludicrous amount? Oh, I can do 2 and 9 here. Let's do that. Have I done all the 9s? I feel like I've put a lot of 9s in the grid, yes. Have I put a lot of 2s in the grid? Not enough, actually. So I can't do the 2s. Can we do 4s? I was doing well with 4s at one stage. Yeah, I get a 4 here, look. Oh, well, that's lovely. So I get a 4 here, a 2 here. That's going to give me a 2 here. Oh, I was going to put a 4 here. For some reason that 4 in my brain went there, which it doesn't. Oh, bobbins. Okay, so this is still not done. Okay. This is not an 8. This is why I should never be allowed to pencil mark in such a ludicrous fashion. I can't see, when it gets this dense in the grid, I just can't see the wood for the trees. There's probably all sorts of Sudoku that I can do now. And it's going to take me months to see it. Can I do the 5, 7 pen? No. Can I do... I can repeat digits in cages, so I can't just wipe 6 out of all these squares. 7 can come out of that square. 7 can come out of that square as well. That is legitimate. So this has come right down. This is only 5 or 6 now. 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 5, 7 or 8. So there must be a 3 here. Oh, no, 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 don't get stuck. Oh! Ah, here's something I hadn't thought of. That is a 46 cage. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what do these digits add up to? They must add up to 16. 45 less 16 by the secret, so they must add up to 29. 35. These have to add up to... Oh, that's not good. Have I done my maths wrong? I sincerely hope so. Otherwise I don't understand. Oh no, it's 46. I thought it said 45. It's 11. I was thinking I can't make these add up to 10. But 11 I can... No, 11 I can make them add up 2 ways. No. 5, 6 and 3, 8 both work. I don't believe it. I hadn't even looked at this clue, and yet it still doesn't work. Oh, let's... What are these digits then? 1, 6, 8. That's not going to be helpful, is it? Looks like it's trying to create some sort of thing. That's not 4. Oh dear, dear, dear. Okay. Let's... Okay, so... Alright, this can't be 3 anymore. Because if that's 3, this would need to be 8 to add up to 11. So this is... It's still fairly... Okay, it's still fairly possible, I think, everything here. So this not being 3, have we learned anything new as a result of that deduction? That's not 3 actually either. Yeah, we have. That is it, isn't it? Because now in this box, I'm seeing that the 3 has been locked over onto this side. And there, no, the 3 in that box is over in one of 2 places, but it could still be here. It's close. I definitely know there's a 3 in one of those 2 cells. Right. Okay. So what does that mean? I don't know. It's going to be something like, I don't know, if you put 5, 6 here, something... Oh, hang on, that can't be 6, I've just noticed, because I've got a 6 in here. So that's come down to 3 or 5. That means that can't be 5 now. And as Maverick flies over again, we've got this right down in terms of its ability to be things. Now, that's 3, 8. Or if this is 5, 6. Oh, okay. Where's 1 in column 6? That's a fair question. It can't go there, look. And based on my pencil marks, it goes there. So it's probably Sudoku. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, should I? It is Sudoku. That's gorgeous. Right. Because now I'm going to run exactly that question again. Where is 6 in this column? And the answer is the only place it can go is exactly there. And that's beautiful, because that then tells me this is 5. And that tells me that's 6 by Sudoku. I can remove 6 from here. I can... Oh, that's become an 8. Okay, that's great. So these squares are 5, 6, 7. So these two squares are a 3, 8 pair. Oh. Okay. Well, that's still good. It's still better than it was. We're still definitely doing better than we were. We ought to be able to get this digit. That's going to be a 3 now. So that's a 3 by Sudoku. This is now an 8 by Sudoku, apparently. Have I done all the fog? I've got no idea. No clue. These are not 6. Okay. So these squares here have got to be... Well, where's 8 in this box? It's got to go there. 8, 6, 6, 1, 1, 4 at last. That becomes a 4. If I haven't made an error, that's a 7. This digit is a 5. Okay, well that's good, but it hasn't done it yet. So this is a 3, 7 pair. 3, 7, 8 is still a triple. It's still resisting. That's... Come on, give up now. Be decent and give up. Okay, I see. That's become a 5. That's a 5. That's an 8. So that's a 5, that's a 7, that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 5, that's a 7, that's a 3. Are we going to get... No 3 in the corner, I don't think. 7 and 6. What a puzzle that is. That is quite... It's absolute genius setting. I meant to colour blue all of the cells that are not snake cells. So that's the final disposition of digits. Let's see if it's right. It is right. 96 people in 21 days. That's... I think that's a really... It's a brilliant puzzle. I found it very hard, actually. And the deduction around how this cage, especially, had to hit this cage is beautiful, but it's not easy. And I didn't find the start easy either. Oh dear. But it was... What a brilliant puzzle. What a brilliant fog of war puzzle. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm sort of in awe of it, actually. It's a wonderful idea, and the execution is sublime. Just think about what we were given at the start. It was next to nothing. Oh, is that my car alarm? I think I better go. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.